Could I love you any more?
I have the honor of kicking off 70 homilies over 70 days leading up to the 70th birthday of the one and only Father Gary Brown.
Congratulations, Father Gary.
Congratulations.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Father Gary. We wish you all the best.
Happy birthday, Gary. Happy 70th. Love you, man. Take care.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday.
Happy 70th, Gary.
Have a wonderful birthday.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, dear friend. And many, many, may you have many, many more.
Thank you, Father Gary, for being the resurrection breath for so many of us. We love you.
Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary. We love you.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Very, very happy birthday to you, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday. Happy 70th birthday, dear friend.
Happy birthday.
Happy 70th birthday. We love you.
We love you.
We love you. Cheers to you.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Very happy birthday to you, Father Gary.
And we wish you the happiest of birthdays.
Happy birthday.
We love you.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday.
Father Gary.
Happy
Happy 70th.
Happy 70th, Chief.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday.
Thank you and happy birthday.
Thank you and have a great birthday.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday to Father Gary.
So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, we celebrate. Yay.
We love you, Papa Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy
birthday, Father Gary.
Enjoy.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
We love you so much, Gary, but more importantly is our giving you the gift of loving us.
You're
welcome.
So, happiest of birthdays, Gary. And as always, thank you.
Happy birthday, Father Gary. We're so grateful for all that you do for our community.
Love you, man. Best of luck. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Ciao.
Happy birthday, Father Gary. Could we love you?
Love you anymore?
We love you and we wish you all of your wishes.
Happy birthday, my buddy. We love you.
Love you. Mwah.
Gary, we love you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Love you. Have a great birthday.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
We love you.
Happy birthday, Gary. We love you.
Happy birthday, Father Gary. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Father Gary. You mean a lot to us, and we want you to always remember that.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
The happiest of birthdays to you, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary. We love you.
Happy birthday, Father Gary. We love you.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Many, many more years for you. Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy
birthday,
Gary Brown.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Father Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary. You don't look a day over 29.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
forever. You who are watching from home today, I miss your faces. Watching that video, I just get the sense of how powerful it is to see one another's faces, to get face time, to face one another, to face off, to look, no, not look, behold another human face. What is a face? What did and what does it mean? The trick with faces is they suggest connectivity. Faces look at us, we look at faces. Often enough, we think of a face as our identity. It's how we identify each other. And as such, faces occupy our minds. The faces we wear reveal and conceal who we are underneath. Sometimes so easy to read, others impossible to get at the secrets they hide. I can usually tell how a couple is doing by whether or not they turn their face towards each other when they talk or listen to one another. That even though hurt and struggling some on any given day, that they would still look at each other. To turn our face away, to avert our eyes, is the cruelest thing. I don't always remember names. I don't always remember the details of their stories, where they are from, or what year they're in college. I get it wrong all the time, and I apologize for how annoying that is. But I can say I don't forget a face, and most especially a great face. Times when I can't sleep at night, I don't count sheep. I see faces. The faces of friends, the faces of my family, the face of our students, our benefactors who are so good to us and keep us in our mission, and the faces that were in my line of sight just that day, even the faces of enemies. After each year's gala, I go to bed with the images of one face after another in front of me from all across that room, 400 faces some years, one after the other. And they take me to sleep that night, and they haunt me through the night. And each face has so many faces. I think of the face of my dad and my mom holding this little bitty Gary in their hands 70 years ago Friday. Relieved that I could come into this world after they had lost their first and after it cost her one of her fallopian tubes, which would have complicated the next pregnancy possibility. And then out I come, backwards, with the cord around my neck. I can only imagine their faces looking into my little face, still so unconscious and oblivious, and yet soaking up every second of every time they turned their face to me, with so much desire that I would even exist, and so much love. And now that I've lived 70 years, that's a lot of faces. But I have to say I love faces. I love the sagging faces of my fellow 70-year-olds with a few extra chins underneath and crow's feet saying that they smiled a lot. I like the furrowed brow of faces that tell me of the intensity of their lives. And I like young faces too, the smooth cheeks and the wrinkleless foreheads that will someday extend further and further back. One of our students said to me once when we were sitting over lunch, looking right at me, "My biggest fear is that someday I will be bald." Looking right at me. Some people spend a lot of time and money on their faces. A lady I loved left in the directives of her will clear instructions to the mortician on how she wants them to do her makeup in her casket, the names of the makeup used, and the exact order of application. And that's fine, I guess, if that's not too crazy expensive and for the wrong reasons for all of us. It is fine to do what we can with what we got to make the world more beautiful. It's fine to do what we can with what we got for others' sake. Truth is, we all need a facelift now and then. If it's from a frown to a smile, from judgment to compassion, that's the facelift we all need. A person's faith with nature's own hand painted. Those are the words of Shakespeare. A person's face with nature's own hand painted. The human face is just so beautiful. Friday night was the actual night of my 70th, and I and 4 other friends whose friendships reach back nearly 50 years now always gather around our birthdays. That night, knowing what I was reflecting on as the week went along more and more, as people were sending Christmas cards just recently and now recently videos and texts, that night I studied the faces of my friends. They didn't know it, probably, perhaps, but as they were talking, I just look at their face, memorizing their faces, savoring their faces. The time we don't have left to look into those eyes, to feel that expression, to notice the tears in the eyes squished in laughter. The way those faces light up just seeing each other again, even after just 2 weeks ago and after almost 50 years. These are faces that had an impact, a life-changing impact. What we first see is the face, and forever that face becomes associated with something, with impact, a certain generosity, an opened opportunity, a kindness, and a seeing of me before I wanted to be seen. A face that appeared just when I needed it. Many of you were rifling through 30 years of homilies and sponsored them to help us do our work here, to carry out our mission, and to honor me. I cannot thank you enough for that. There are no words. One of my favorites goes way back when I talked to you about what an old mentor had taught me, that there is a most beautiful face. And the most beautiful face is the face of someone who has nothing to hide, nothing to lose, and nothing to prove. The most beautiful face. My friends, if over your years you look out at people with the face of someone who has nothing to hide or nothing to lose and nothing to prove, that face will be the transfigured face for you. It will be pure light. It will be the transfigured face for all of us. But there's one other face. Looming over all of them is one other face. The face of Jesus of Nazareth. A face that you can tell is sometimes streaked with tears, other times spread wide with smiles and laughter. A face that did not turn away from other people's suffering, as you can see all over today's gospel. A face that shows up just in time for Peter's mother-in-law and for us. Like Jesus did in that gospel you just heard. When Peter told Jesus, Peter told him, "My mother-in-law is sick." And Jesus asked if he could go to her. He did not wait for her to ask for his help. He went to her bed where she was ridden with fever. There is no doubt in my mind that when she saw that face, that great face, something deep inside of her relaxed. Something relaxed and something deep inside of her was unleashed in that very moment. There was enough to begin the healing in her. There's not a priest in the world that could not tell you of the times he was called to the bedside of someone who was in the dying process. Oftentimes agitated, sometimes in a coma, unconscious. And the priest walks in, and if they can, they barely open their eyes to see, but my, how they try to open their eyes to see that face. And sometimes you can see their lips beginning to move, and sometimes they just seem to relax. There are no words in a priest's life to describe those moments. That amount of recognition of way more than his face. Yes, a face has many faces. How easy it can be to look at someone's face and behold the reality beneath. What they saw in his face, in those moments of pure compassion, the reality just beneath, was God. And they spent the rest of their lives trying to tell us what they saw just underneath his face. I say more, writes Gerard Manley Hopkins, a priest. I say more. The just man justices, keeps grace. That keeps all his goings graces. Acts in God's eyes what in God's eye he is, Christ. For Christ plays in 10,000 places, lovely in limbs and lovely in eyes not his, to the Father through the features of men's faces. My friends, look at the faces in your life again. Take just an extra breath, just to hold those faces with your own eyes, just for a breath. Even if that face is masked now, the eyes are plenty of face. Someday that face will pass from us, and we will have the memory of what we saw there, what we touched, what we kissed, and we will remember them. And far from just missing that face pressed against ours, we will want to go out there and love more deeply than we ever knew we could, because of the Christ whose face we saw in them. You all have great faces.